although Rohit Sharma was part of the setup before we came in, he was playing in the middle order. It was MS's idea that we should push him as an opener. So at times, these things don't work out well. And from an individual perspective, I can understand. He may feel, "Arey, kya ho gaya mujhe kyun nahi le rahe?" And I think when Virat and Ravi got together, their first aim was to start to win abroad. It worked so well because both of them were very bullheaded. Look out for Vaibhav Suryavanshi. He is such an exciting talent here. Oh, suppose he's 14, suppose he's 15. But even at that age, that kind of talent after ages we have seen. Maybe after Sachin.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Knuckleball podcast. I am Sriram Ganesh. I'm joined by my co-host Roddur Mookherjee. And today we have someone who is very special to us as well, because I have a special connect with him because of a personal thing. I will explain that later in the episode. But we have with us someone who has seen the game of cricket from every facet. He has been a broadcaster. He's a former India cricketer. He's been a national selector. He has, of course, been with the BCCI as well. We have with us Saba Karim. So thank you so much for joining.
Such a pleasure. Good to be here and good to catch up with both of you.
Sir, IPL is around the corner. The fever is on. How do you feel about which team are you looking at and you're thinking it's going well this time?
This is such a fresh look to most of the IPL teams. New captain, so many new captains. So in that sense, there is a lot of excitement. So you have Rishabh Pant and you have Akshar Patel being named a captain. Then Shreyas Iyer has gone to Punjab Kings. Hardik Pandya in a much better position this time around as a captain.
Absolutely.
You have Shubman Gill to lead Gujarat Titans. Ajinkya Rahane has gone all the way to KKR. Rajat Patidar for RCB. So a lot of changes have taken place. So I think in that sense, extremely excited. I think initial maybe after a week, one will get a better sense of who is a clear favourite, depending on their performance and the availability of the players. I think the biggest issue most of the teams face, for instance, what happened with Delhi Capitals now, Harry Brooks jailed out. So I think then you have to rejig your entire team. So I think, as I said, एक हफ्ता मुझे लगता है कि समय लगेगा.
Sir, but you've touched upon Delhi Capitals is absolutely perfect because you worked with them as a talent scout. And probably during their golden era in the IPL, I would say,
first year was fine. Second year also we did manage to qualify or something like that, if I remember correctly.
So I just wanted to know, as a talent scout, how was that? What did that role need you to do as a talent scout, and how did you coordinate with Delhi Capitals for that role?
There is no rocket science behind it. Usme, the only thing you have to do is first, you need to sit with the team management, get their vision. And I think when I came in, first year was the mega auction, if I remember correctly. So mega auction it becomes equally important that you sit with the team management and the owners and try and figure out the kind of vision they have in mind. And then accordingly you start to strategize and think of the resources who may fit that kind of a vision. And I think that's what I tried to do. And I had my team of about 3-4 other talent scouts. So once you have a very clear picture in mind in terms of the slots that is available, the kind of balance you're looking at, the kind of thrust you're looking at, then you try and work out a schedule, and then you have these, you go and watch all these matches, domestic matches, local matches, BCCI matches, and then call all these so-called hopefuls whom you feel may fit in that kind of a slot, and then put their name in the auction, because all that work we do is before the auction starts. Once the auction starts, the dynamics changes completely because you just don't know what may happen in the auction. But you need to have a very clear mind, have more flexibility in your approach. You get 2 days for a mega auction. So overnight also you can change your strategy depending on the number of buys you have had so far. तो ये सारी चीज़ें हैं जो सामने आ जाती हैं. But good fun, interesting.
Sir, you talked about Delhi Capitals. You said you have to coordinate with the management as well. So at that time, you worked with 2 of the titans of the game. You have worked with Sourav Ganguly. You have worked with Ricky Ponting in that regard.
Sourav wasn't there. Sourav was not. Sourav was he was at that point of time the president of BCCI.
Right. So no, I'm talking about like you worked with him as well in the past. You worked with Ponting here. So I have a big fascination with these titans of the game. Like, what makes them what they are? So, what does make Ponting, and what does make Dada?
My experience opens a window to basically understand so-called legends of the game. And my first impression is clarity.
Right.
They are very transparent and extremely clear about what they want to do and how they want to reach there. I think once they have that in mind, then they are very clear about the pathways they want to undertake. I think both Ricky and Sourav fall in that kind of a category. And Ricky, for instance, once he decides that this is the way to take the team forward, these are the kind of individuals you want to have in your side, then he is very gung-ho about how to go about it. He's very passionate.
So can you give us an example about that?
Yeah.
So it may be a player or an approach that he put forward and he was like, no, I'm going for it no matter what.
Yeah.
No, for instance, I remember those days we were looking to get the opening slots filled up. So he was very clear about it that he wanted to have David Warner in the side.
Right.
He wanted to have Mitch Marsh in the side.
Okay.
Because we already had Rishabh Pant to bolster the middle order. So he wanted two top quality run getters who can work as a bank for him at the top of the order. So little things. I think he's very clear on that front.
I think
so there were
that
some
with
issues.
the Punjab Kings this year as
Yeah.
well, because
Yeah.
he's brought in a huge amount of that Australian core with him. So I think makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
so you also need to understand that as a coach, some coaches are comfortable with certain individuals
Right.
whom they feel that they can really trust, and they can have that kind of faith in that kind of a player who can do well for their side. So I think that's the kind of mindset all these coaches have.
Right.
It is quite similar to what they had as a captain, as a
Right.
leader, when during their playing days, and because they tasted success as a captain, so they want to follow on the same kind of a path.
Sir, but I want to touch upon another sort of facet where you were in a more background position from the playing field, which is as a national selector, where you were looking after the East Zone and you were coordinating with the BCCI in that regard. So, is there any certain player that you looked during that time and you were like, I have to push this player, I have to tell the BCCI, this player you have to play him for India? Is there any instances like that, if you can tell us?
There were several, and it is not about me alone. I think it is a team that works. And let me correct you. When you become the national selector, you're not representing any zone.
Right.
You're representing your country.
Right.
You may come from a particular zone, but it does not mean that you are there to pick only players from that particular zone.
Right.
That has been done away with,
Okay.
which is such a sensible thing to do.
Okay.
So you may have 5 selectors who represent different zones, but does not mean that you need to follow that kind of an agenda.
Yeah.
So Bhuvneshwar Kumar came to the fore
Wow.
then. Yeah. Mohammad Shami, we picked based on his performance in India A side.
Okay.
And he emerged as a fabulous bowler for us. Bhuvi also, for so many years, there was a massive, his contribution was so impactful. Another player that comes to my mind is, although Rohit Sharma was part of the setup before we came in, he was playing in the middle order.
Right.
And when we became the selectors, along with MS, who was the captain at that point of time in Champions Trophy 2013, it was MS's idea that we should push him as an opener. And once we did that, and then Rohit, he became a different kind of a player altogether, and he had his own story to build. So these 2-3 players, Shikhar Dhawan for that matter.
Wow.
Yeah, Shikhar came into the picture.
So basically, for the last decade, if we've had good power plays in bowling and batting, it's because of Saba sir.
No, not because of me, because of the selection committee and the players. And unless you perform, the selectors can do nothing about it. So one has to give credit to the players who made it. See, that's the beauty about cricket in India, because if you are performing on a regular basis, and then there is more than 100% chance that you will get picked for the national team. That is very clear now.
Yeah.
Because the matches are being covered, it is on television, the press does a great job in terms of coverage. So you get to see what is happening. Our job is only to go and have a look at that particular player and test him in different conditions, different quality of cricket. Once he comes across in a decent manner, or if he starts to perform at that level, then you know that this cricket is ready for the international games.
So I wanted to add upon that. So in our last conversation with Mr. Joy Bhattacharya, he had actually given us an instance where someone like an Ashok Dinda, for example, who was doing so well in association cricket, was not maybe at that point of time making that step up to the Indian side. But then the IPL came in the middle and he was, showcased as this guy who can really take it forward. We have also seen the likes of Sarfaraz Khan, for example, now. He made it through. He had a phenomenal Ranji career. He slipped, he was again and again on the periphery of being selected, then makes it to the Indian side. Then he has been absolutely fantastic for the Indian side as well, scoring the 150 against New Zealand. But now again, he has seemed to have fallen out of favour. So what do you see around that? Like, what is your perspective been on that?
I don't think he's fallen out of favour as of now. It is just that, at times you pick players. The team management has a big role to play.
Right.
And when I say team management, it means the captain and the coach. So it is the captain and the coach together who have to take the team forward. And if the moment they perceive that a particular player may not be suitable for a condition or for the kind of image they have in mind for that particular slot, then that individual may not be given chance at that point of time. But it does not mean that that person is out of favour. There will be a time when again he will come back into the mix of things, and you'll see him play. And I see that happening with Sarfaraz Khan, because what at times we tend to forget that this is a sport which is rapidly evolving, like any other sport for that matter. So I think to be on top and to stay ahead of the opposition, it is more important to always have that kind of an aim and be in sync with the demands of international cricket, so that you're able to pick the right side, and hence they can go out and perform. So at times, these things don't work out well, and from a individual perspective, I can understand. He may feel, "Arey, kya ho gaya mujhe? Mujhe kyun nahi le rahe?" But it has got nothing to do with that player's performance, but more to do with the conditions and the kind of vision the team management has in mind.
So, but is there one player you think maybe over the years, particularly when you were working as a selector, who you think that maybe he slipped through the cracks a little and perhaps didn't get to the level where he should have got, and maybe whether it's his own dedication or whether it's someone because of the situation, the conditions, you think, okay, he probably didn't go up and do what you expected him to do?
इतना जल्दी मुझे याद नहीं होने वाला. We'll come back to this later. Let me put some mind to it.
Sure, absolutely.
मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है.
Feel free to put it in whenever you want. So then I want to talk about the time when you were also involved with the Indian team was the Shastri Kohli era, and you were, and that is an era that we remember very fondly.
Our generation
because
fondly
we think of it as this sort of era where we sort of had an identity in Test cricket. We went away, we won Test matches in Australia and all of these places. But as someone who saw it up close, what did you feel made the Shastri Kohli connection so special, and why did it work so well?
It worked so well because both of them were very bullheaded. In terms of achieving with what they wanted the team to achieve. I think the biggest passion was for India to win overseas. When I say overseas, it means in the SENA countries, outside the Asian subcontinent. Teams before this also have won in India as well as in the Asian subcontinent. But not many have succeeded. Not many have won series abroad in South Africa, in England, in New Zealand, and in Australia. And I think when Virat and Ravi got together, their first aim was to start to win abroad. So once they had that in mind, then they got the selectors together to figure out how do we achieve that. And I think the biggest change that I could now perceive is, or I could figure out, is that they went ahead with having this five bowler theory outside. So we did away with having a defensive mindset and straight away went to a very attacking mindset.
20 wickets.
They were always very clear about giving a very strong message to the opposition that we're here to win, not only to play. And I think the only way you can do that, by one, having trust in your batting lineup, and second, to pick attacking bowlers who will get you wickets. So there was no compromise on that front, and I think that made the big difference. That not only because it came from the top, then all the players who played under Virat and Ravi, they also started to feel like that.
Wow.
They can also go out and win abroad. So I think that was the biggest influence both these gentlemen brought to Indian cricket.
Thinking about it gives me the chills. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
serious. It's amazing. So
And the kind of cricket we played,
yeah,
we
of
would
course,
always
it's
be so
fantastic.
attacking.
Yeah.
And I think
I mean,
Virat
to bounce
really
back
led the
from
way.
the 36 all
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was later. I'm talking about the
Yeah.
first series in
First series,
Australia,
2016.
where although India
First
lost,
2018, yeah.
Right.
but I mean the way
Yeah.
I think we drew the series.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I
We
think
won
I
in
think we
Australia.
lost
We
the
drew in
series.
England. We
Yeah,
drew in
something
England.
like that.
Yeah.
We won in Australia.
Yeah. So again, you said both of them were bull-headed people. That's the quote of the entire episode so far. There must have been moments where you must have felt like I need to step in. Like there must have been moments where it got heated.
Yeah.
So can you, from
Yeah,
recollection,
several of them.
Can you share us one?
Yeah.
One incident that you don't mind sharing. You
Yeah.
know.
No, I think we were in Sri Lanka, and so we made this call. I think about so they wanted Riddhiman Saha was the regular wicket keeper, and Riddhi got injured before I think the second Test match. The first Test match we had lost in Gaul, and I was there as a selector, along with Vikram Rathore, who is the former batting coach of the Indian side. And so when you are part of the selection committee, you prepare a pecking order in terms of the number of players you have in mind. Okay, if this person is not performing, or if he gets injured, who comes in next? So we had prepared like that for wicket keepers, and I think at that point of time, Naresh Ojha, who was slated to come in after Riddhiman Saha.
Naman Ojha.
Naman Ojha,
Right.
sorry,
Yeah.
not Naresh. Naman Ojha.
Yeah.
Naman Ojha. And Naman had done quite well. He was playing for India. In domestic cricket, he was a very prolific run getter, very safe behind the stumps. But if I remember correctly, I think Ravi and Virat, they wanted Parthiv Patel to come in, being a left-hander. So the logic was perfectly fine. But because Parthiv was not right at the top in terms of the pecking order, so we went ahead with Naman Ojha, and he did fairly well in the second Test match. And then the third Test match, Riddhi was fit and he came back. So there was one or two instances like that. I see the idea is to find the best player who can be slotted in.
Right.
And I think both Virat and Ravi were very open about it. I mean, you need to have that lively discussion. You need to have disagreements, which is perfectly fine till the time it is very healthy and if everybody is on the same kind of a platform, and that platform is for India to win.
Yeah.
So speaking of the Virat Kohli, that era, almost that 3-4 year period between 2016 and 2019, I've gone back and listened to a lot of interviews, a lot of articles I've read, where people have in around setup have said they basically went into autopilot because of the kind of form that Kohli was in. He was just going out and bashing anybody and everybody. Did you see that? Like, were there times where the team was like, okay, Virat is going to just do it? Like, were there times like, यार कोई बात नहीं, हो गया, हो जाएगा?
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं था because कई जगह पे बहुत सारी जगह मुझे याद है कि जो टीम की तैयारी होती थी उसमें ये भी था कि the other players also need to contribute. Virat was he was in that point of time not only in Test matches but more so in one-day cricket. He was contributing immensely to the team's success. But the others also had a big role to play. And I remember even in one-day cricket, although Virat was like proclaimed as the chase master, and there was no doubt about it. But we had some great contributions. For instance, the Champions Trophy win in 2013, we had great contributions. Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan. And I think Rohit was the highest run getter, or Shikhar was the highest run getter. So if we didn't get that kind of a platform right at the top, I don't think India would have done well. Similarly in Test matches, Sri Lanka, as I mentioned, Rohit Sharma was in good form. Shikhar Dhawan got 100. Virat also contributed, but not as much as Rohit and Shikhar. Down the order, Pujara was playing so well. He opened the inning, got runs. Number 3 got runs. Murli Vijay was contributing. Down the order, Riddhiman Saha was getting runs. So it was actually a team effort, and I think Virat believed in that. See, Virat's role was that, okay, this is the way we have to play, and everybody has to fall in line, which is perfectly okay, and that is why India tasted success during his reign as captain.
But Sriram, now I'm going to take you 20 years back to 23rd January 1997, where India played South Africa.
Right. Okay.
And India's batting order had Sachin Tendulkar.
Right.
India's batting order had Sourav Ganguly.
Mhm.
India's batting order had Rahul Dravid.
Okay.
India's batting order had Mohammad Azharuddin.
Okay. Fantastic.
But some hot shot came in,
Hot shot. Hot shot नहीं था यार.
slammed 48, sorry,
55
slammed
of
55 of 48 balls. Sir, how vividly do you remember that? How tough was Lance Klusener that day?
Lance Klusener was very quick those days.
Yeah.
Alan Donald was around. Yeah. But it was good fun. Really enjoyed it. It came very unexpected because Nayan was the main wicket keeper. He was the number one keeper. But Nayan unfortunately got injured before the game. And I think about an hour or an hour and a half before the game, I was told that I'm playing.
Wow.
It's supposed to be my debut. So I went with a very open mind. Good in a way that India had to field first. So I had some sense as a wicketkeeper. You try and absorb the pressure, and it gives you more space to figure out how you want to go about things. And when I went out to bat, we were struggling. I think Azhar was at the other end. And when I went out to bat, Azhar, the only thing I remember, he came up to me and he told me, "Chalane ka, lagane ka." I said, "Okay." And that's what I did. And we had Pat Simcox. So I think I think Sean Pollock was bowling from one end and Pat Simcox from the other end. So I was able to hit a couple of boundaries against Pat Simcox. There was so much of, because we had lost 5 wickets. So South Africa, wanted to apply more pressure. So he had brought in the mid-on up. And I think during our days in domestic cricket, the mid-on is up to a right-arm off-spinner. You have to step out and hit him with the top. So it was very natural. So,
but you would be perfect for T20 cricket. Now, it was 55 or 48 in 97. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was really enjoyed it. And the wickets were perfect.
Yeah.
It was fast and you could trust the bounce and play your shots. So that was good. But unfortunately, we couldn't win the game. I think the asking run rate went really high.
Yeah, but sir, during that point, and you couldn't win the game, and the thing I remember a little bit from that era is, so Sachin Tendulkar was the captain when you made your debut, but he wasn't captain for very long, and we talk about Virat Kohli leading by example. Sachin Tendulkar was someone who performed very well, but perhaps was let down. But why do you think it didn't work out for Sachin as a captain? You were there in the outside.
One, he had a very young side.
Right.
We had Rahul Dravid and VVS and Sourav. They made their debut in '96 and he became the captain in '96-'97 season. So initial days, I don't think he had enough. I don't think he was provided enough time to build a side.
Right.
Okay.
He was very passionate, extremely clinical. He wanted also the team to really get together. But I sincerely feel that if Sachin had been given more time or allowed more space, then I'm sure he would have been a much more able leader than what he came out to be.
Right.
I think it was very short-lived for him, because he was really looking to build a team, and he was trying to find out the right kind of players who can come in. And as I have mentioned earlier about his vision of play.
So. One of the main things that now we are seeing in comparison to your era was the BCCI 10-point diktat that came in very recently. So there were a lot of limitations, a lot of things that have been very openly put out for the media to see that these are the kind of things that the players are now expected to do. Yeah. Were there at times, does it in any way compare to your era? Were there things like that in your era? How do you see this entire situation right now?
उस वक्त भी था, पर इस तरह के नहीं थे. Before a tour would start, we would always get a contractual agreement from BCCI, and all these things are marked out. But those were not so hectic days also. No? I mean, tour पे गए, permission लेना है कि your family can travel, permission आ जाती थी, उसमें कोई दिक्कत थी नहीं. Social media influence wasn't there. There are not so many people covering the test matches or even one-day matches. So it was more relaxed kind of an atmosphere. But I think things have changed now. But ये जो diktat अभी आया है ना, वो काफी दिनों से है.
Right.
But it was made like it was put very out there and official and.
Yeah, but it's always been there. And I think with time there may have been some additions. But it's always been there. It's been a regular feature of BCCI to explain all this and to send this kind of a schedule or kind of a points to all these players. It is supposed to be followed and adhered to. So I think ये because इतनी सारी बातें होने लगी तो again they had to reinforce it. But
Right.
it's always been around. Little bit of changes here and there.
But do you think it's I don't want to use the word fair, but do you think something like this should be there, or there should be a little bit of freedom? Because very recently Virat Kohli came out and said, I want to be with my family no matter what. But do you see BCCI's logic here little more than Virat, or which side do you see more as on a personal level?
I don't want to take any sides. What I want to say here is that, see, how do I put this? Is that you need to find the right kind of balance that helps the players to excel. Okay.
Right.
We are not living in an Orwellian world.
Right.
Yeah.
We are living in a very open society. First, you need to understand that. And second, one should also understand whether such activities is affecting the players' performance or not, or the team's performance or not.
Right.
If because of the facilities that the players have been using, if it is affecting their game, then yes, there should be some kind of regulations. Number two is that there is a role specified for the support staff, and that their role is to look after the side.
Right.
Their role is not to look after the so-called families or the other or the entourage of the players. If the player who is in the side is able to take care of the family on his own, take care of the so-called entourage on his own, I don't see any problem whatsoever.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. You need to find the right kind of balance.
Right.
And one should understand that if such facilities which the players are trying to take now, if it is enhancing their play, then what is the problem?
Right.
In any case, so it may be that the kind of discipline which is required from the team management that may not have been enforced.
Right.
And because of this, BCCI had to once again reiterate to all the players. But if the proper discipline is maintained, because you need to have that kind of a
Right.
so-called charter.
Right.
Or Magna Carta, if I may say so. उसी तरह का हो गया था ना.
So before we enter the fun segment of our episode, I just
Yeah.
want to. So in my
मुझे
intro,
लगा था ये भी fun segment है नहीं?
अभी तो पूरा fun था.
Okay.
अभी proper fun करेंगे इसके बाद. So as I had said in my intro that Saba sir is very special to me personally because the first interview that I ever did as a TV journalist was with him, and he was the first interview that had helped me make it on air. So I have a big
good.
connection with
All
you.
right. Okay.
And speaking of that, I have noticed one thing about your career, sir. Because as I said, you covered every facet of the game. This is something similar to someone like Ravi Shastri as well, who our generation holds so dear as a coach and especially as a broadcaster. So have there been like moments where you have seen him like, these are things I want to pick up from him also sometimes, or like
Always. I think I met with Ravi, I told in 1989.
Okay.
He was a senior member of the side and I had just come in.
Yeah.
Second connection is Ravi is also from Tata Steel.
Okay.
So and I'm also a former Tata Steel employee. So we had that kind of connection. And during my playing days, I mean, he was very open. I can always go up to him and take his advice. Very forthcoming, extremely blunt. Very in your face, which is perfectly fine. I mean,
He's
that's
the
way
only
he is.
person you can call blunt in a nice way.
Yeah, and you appreciate such qualities.
Yeah.
And then he graduated. He was very how do I put that again? Is very clear in what he wants to do in his life.
Okay.
Once his career was over, he realized that he's not keeping fit. He was injured. I remember the last game he played in domestic cricket. He was really struggling, and that's when he carved a different kind of a path for himself, and he wanted to be a broadcaster. He worked very hard. Such a great learning for all of us.
Yeah.
And even now he keeps himself fit.
Yeah.
Then he donned the role as the director of cricket, became the head coach, and he had his own style of being the coach, of getting everybody together. And I've always said this. I think he's for him to. It is a rarity to find someone like Ravi. The way he inspires the team and the players is amazing. It's so good to watch.
Right.
and also I think he's a very sharp cricketing brain. And I've done my even broadcasting as a commentator. We have shared on so many matches, one day as well as test matches. So it's always been great learning.
Fantastic.
Not so rapid fire with Saba Karim. So, first one for you. Smartest cricket brain you have played or worked with?
Oh God. Sourav.
Sourav.
Yeah.
Can you give us an instance?
He had from a very young age. I know Sourav from a very long time.
Yeah.
His elder brother Snehashi, who's the president of CAB now, and both of us are batchmates. And then I seen Sourav grow up. He came into the Bengal side. Before that, he played for the East Zone, and I was part of that side. Then when I was the captain of East Zone, he played under me, and he was always itching to come forward with his own inputs and his own suggestions.
Okay.
Always wanted to be in the thick of things. Always wanted to contribute, be it as a batter, be it as a bowler. And I could figure out even then, those early days. I'm talking about before he made his debut for the national side. Early 90s or late 80s. So I could really sense that Sourav, he just had to work hard on his game, more on his temperament, less on his game, more on his temperament.
Right.
Once he was able to do that, and I think that was a landmark year when he made his debut. I think before that we played domestic cricket, and then we played club cricket in Bengal for the same club, Mohun Bagan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I could see the change in him.
Yeah.
He started to score big. He was getting big hundreds. Even at the Eden Gardens, he would come and smack pace bowlers for massive sixes. Left arm spinners, he became merciless. So it just gives you an idea that that he had a very sharp cricketing brain.
Right.
Sir, you must have had a million of these, but a player interaction you'll never forget.
A player interaction.
Yeah. One particular instance.
यार मुझे ना ऋषभ से बात करना बड़ा मजा आता है. He's
Makes a lot of
मस्त
sense.
लड़का, हाँ, वो बहुत अच्छा है. मतलब he's very relaxed और कुछ भी पूछ लो, मतलब nothing in front. Straight away जो मन में आ रहा है बोल रहा है.
Just like his batting.
हाँ, just like his batting. Very खुले हुए मन से बात करता है. Very lovely guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So, player you again we'll come back to this because I hope you have had time to think now. Player you thought would make it big but didn't.
उस वक्त मुझे ना 2-3 प्लेयर्स थे. मुझे लग रहा था कि और अच्छा कर सकते थे. There was एक तो यार I thought even Manoj Tiwari for that matter.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he didn't get so many opportunities.
Yeah.
और जब भी हम लोगों ने उसको पिक किया, वो फिर इंजर्ड हो गया. तो उसको लंबा वक्त मिल नहीं पाया. When we wanted to bring him back, he played some matches India A, and I think in Zimbabwe. There he didn't score runs. But on a personal note, I really wanted him to do well because I've seen him do so well.
Yeah.
Not only for India but also for Bengal. And I thought he had that instinct and the courage to do well at the international level.
As a Bengali myself, I would hope at that point every
Yeah.
single time, I would hope like, okay, Manoj Tiwari, come on, let's get Manoj Tiwari. It was quite a little bit sad sometimes that Manoj didn't get to the level because the talent was very clear to us.
Yeah. और तो मुझे ऐसे कुछ प्लेयर्स लग नहीं रहे जिन्होंने खेला हो इंडिया के लिए उस ज़माने में 4 साल में. And he didn't carry on. Most of these players, Jawavinder Jadeja, we brought him back in a test series against England at home, and then from there.
Thank you for that, sir.
Yeah. Legend.
Because उस वक्त जिस तरह के wickets बन रहे थे, so we wanted a left arm spin bowler who can be very rapid. So he fit that role so well. So one could see the change in him.
Yeah.
So उस हिसाब से most of these players, they've done quite well.
I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Oh God, मत क्या करो ऐसे यार.
Your IPL top 4 and your champion.
IPL top 4 इस साल के लिए. MI.
Okay.
Yeah. I can't rule out CSK because MS is still around and MS is my favorite.
Okay.
Another such player whom I have really seen him grow, and he's such a wonderful person.
That makes the two of us. MS is my
है ना?
favorite also.
बहुत वो भी very down to earth, very respectful. मुझे इस बार लगता है कि 2 टीम हो गई ना.
सबसे easy वाली तो आपने बता दी.
KKR because they have a strong bowling lineup.
Okay.
They may not be. I'm sure they will miss 1 or 2 players, but KKR should make a difference. and they have a very Indian core
Yeah.
setup with Ajinkya there, Chandu there. तो मुझे लगता है वो team
So what do you think of
अच्छा
Ajinkya
बनना
Rahane being made captain? You know,
Yeah.
he's not the T20 phenomenon, but what do you think of it? Just on a side note.
Fabulous player, no doubt
Yeah.
about that. And he's one such cricketer who really keeps working very hard at his game, and I think he has realized his role now as a T20 player. That is why he has opened the innings in the domestic level for Mumbai in T20.
He was phenomenal
So,
for
उसमें
Mumbai.
अच्छा कर रहा है वो, तो इसका मतलब है कि उसने अपना रोल पता कर लिया है कि मुझे क्या करना है. And he's one such player who will always keep working on his game all the time. That suits the side.
Right.
I think that's what he intends to do with KKR. And as a captain, he's a leader par excellence. He knows how to get the side together. ज़्यादा बोलता नहीं है. That may give a different kind of impression. But whenever he has led, not only for Mumbai but also for India, we keep talking about 36 all out. But what happened after that?
Yeah.
Jinx was the captain.
Yeah.
And we won the series with Ajinkya Rahane at the top. So he has those leadership qualities.
And the fourth team, sir.
Yeah. We're not going to let you go.
Okay.
And you have to say the champion also.
Ah.
You have to be
Top
the
4
champion.
and champion.
I think MI this year.
MI champion.
MI
Okay.
champion.
Feel
Okay.
MI. अगर वो, if they play up to their potential because they have a very solid side, I seriously think DC should do well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because मुझे लगता है कि DC ने टीम अच्छी बनाई है इस
Yeah.
बार, और थोड़ी ज़्यादा मुझे क्लैरिटी नज़र आ रही है इस टीम में, because अब सेटअप थोड़ा चेंज हो गया है. अब तो उसमें जो जिस तरह के उनके सपोर्ट स्टाफ हैं, they are more clear headed about their work.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting top 4, sir. Okay.
तुम्हारे टॉप 4 अलग थे क्या?
बहुत.
हाँ, बता दो तुम्हारा
मैं
अपना भी
अपना
क्या.
बताता हूँ सर आपको. I see Gujarat doing really well this year because of that top 3. That top 3 genuinely I feel is probably the best in the entire league. To have Gill and Butler open and then Sai Sudarshan at 3, absolutely fantastic. Because they have a good Indian bowling core as well. I think.
Yeah.
I would have picked Gujarat. I would have picked CSK for very biased reasons. I would have definitely picked Mumbai. I would have picked Hyderabad.
Yeah, so Hyderabad for me as well, because head Abhishek,
Yeah.
Klaasen, Reddy, Ishan
Their
Kishan, it's
power,
it's like
the supercharged batting lineup they have. So that's why I would have picked Hyderabad.
True. What about Rajasthan Royals?
Rajasthan Royals are also very interesting because again, incredible batting lineup.
Sir, for
is
me, I
that-
think they lack a little bit of, in the middle phase, they sort of get lost a little.
Yeah.
Like their bowling is a little lacking and their batting is a little lacking. So it's heavy, but it doesn't have the
Balance
balance
enough,
and the
yeah.
depth. I
Look
feel.
out for Vaibhav Suryavanshi.
Oh yeah.
You think he'll
He'll play
play?
around
Get
sir?
a look in.
He'll get
I hope he does.
Okay.
He is
That'll be
such
a
an
story and a
exciting
half, yeah.
talent here. Oh.
Have you seen him up close, sir?
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen so many videos. He comes from my state, Bihar.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So
Yeah,
that's
he
one for the
is-
viewers. Keep
yeah.
a lookout for Vaibhav Suryavanshi.
Look at the flow. Oh,
Yeah.
fabulous. Yeah.
Such power.
Give
at
him
such
2
young
more
age.
years.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Yeah.
people say that he may not be 13. How does that matter? Even if he's not 13.
Yeah.
Suppose he's 14. Suppose he's 15. But even at that age,
Yeah.
that kind of talent
course,
after
yeah.
ages we have seen.
Absolutely.
Maybe
sir.
after Sachin.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
That's the
up.
statement right there. Wow. Okay.
मतलब उस उम्र में.
Yeah.
Yeah.
उसके बाद तो like for in that era it was Sachin and Vinod.
Yeah.
Both of them had phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
But their journey was so different.
Yeah.
So at that stage, the kind of power he has,
Fabulous.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Looking forward.
Yeah.
Forward.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Your next generation Fab 4.
Gill,
Okay.
definitely. If you're talking about the batting lineup at the top, okay, Gill हो गया अपने तरफ से. I'm looking at different nations का एक जगह का.
Your pick, sir.
Yeah. Completely.
Okay, I have high hopes from Harry Brooks.
Okay.
If he can, now they are giving him the role of a leader, so
Yeah.
he may change things. New Zealand, Rachin Ravindra.
Of course.
Oh, what a player! Yeah. What a player. ऑस्ट्रेलिया में कोई यंग टैलेंट कुछ नाम तो बता दो, ऑप्शंस दिया करो ना.
Constas,
Sam Constas is coming.
Fraser
through.
McGurk.
Fraser McGurk is there.
No,
Delhi.
no.
Sir,
South
there's
Africa mein there is Tristan Stubbs.
the
who's
Stubbs,
been
there's
talked
Saeem Ayub,
Saeem
there's
Ayub for
Jaiswal, of
Pakistan.
course, in India.
Yeah. Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Jaiswal,
Yeah. All formats. I'm looking
Oh,
at
yeah.
player who can come and do well in all formats.
Yeah.
Right.
इंग्लैंड में मुझे हैरी ब्रुक्स के अलावा और कोई नजर नहीं आता है. जो रूट तो चलो, all that this phase is
Yeah.
over. But I'm saying the upcoming generation में हैरी ब्रुक्स. Australia, unfortunately, I don't see that kind of talent coming through.
Yeah.
I don't know how they'll
Batting.
replace Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge. Going to be a big
Yeah.
problem for them. Yeah.
They say Manas Labuschagne.
Yeah.
But
Even Labuschagne is getting along. He's like
No.
30 or something now.
So if you're looking at a younger lot, I don't see any.
Yeah.
Sam Conscious is someone that is being talked about because of that one flashy inning he played, but,
Yeah, but
it will take a lot of time.
These two are like, for instance, Yashasvi Shubman, accomplished player, all three formats.
Proven.
Yeah.
Look at Harry Brook, done well in Asian conditions, even abroad. And a lot of work to be done, but I
Of
think
course.
Rachin Ravindra.
Rachin is just
Joy sir had the exact same reaction to the.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just
Rachin and-
blowing everybody away.
Yeah,
Rachin Ravindra is
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah. Rachin Ravindra. When he gets out, you feel अरे कैसे out हो गया? हाँ, अपने यहाँ भी फाइनल में भी जिस तरह से out उसका out होना नहीं चाहिए था. I'm very surprised that I couldn't pick Kuldeep.
Yeah.
The first ball that Kuldeep came in.
Yeah.
All right. Your favorite commentary box buddy?
बताऊं कौन है? अनिल कुंबले.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, not expecting that.
Oh my word! Yeah. We have such good fun.
Okay.
Yeah, because और कोई ना उसके साथ they don't take liberty at all. I am the only one who can do that, and we really enjoy each other's company.
Right.
And he's very quick on the wit.
Okay.
And there is a lot of exchange. जितने और सारे हैं वो सबके सब juniors हैं, whether it is Akash, whether it is Parthiv Patel or anyone else. So nobody dares say anything to him. All of them have played under him.
Yeah.
Anil obviously much senior to them. So they behave with him the way they would even on the cricket field.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
similar kind of situation I see in the comm box. But because I played with him.
Yeah.
So, and we are, it's good fun with him.
Fantastic.
Sir, a moment in cricket history you wish you were in the comm box for? One moment if you could pick.
Any of these final victories there. 2011.
Yeah.
Oh, what a win after so many years.
Yeah.
We had
That
to wait.
final six.
Yeah. One day after 1983, that final match, Mumbai, just imagine, just visualize yourself.
Yeah.
That itself gives you goosebumps.
Of course.
I remember when I saw that six.
MS, one
Yeah.
of my favorite player, for him to come out and play in innings like that.
Yeah.
And we were all waiting. We were expecting for the team to do well.
Yeah.
And their journey in that World Cup was wonderful to watch.
So, but then, do you remember what your reaction was? I mean, I'm sorry for cutting you out on the tangent here. You talked about how important the 2011 victory was, but then, do you remember what kind of feeling you had when the 23 World Cup final happened? Like, what were your reactions then?
Extremely disappointed.
Yeah.
Because I thought, जिस तरह से इस साल जीते हैं ना हम लोग, हमें वैसे ही जीतना चाहिए था. And I've been on so many platforms. I've said this. I've been very vocal about it. The kind of talent we have, the kind of exposure our players get, the kind of money that is floating around in cricket, the kind of support that BCCI offers, the kind of facilities that the cricketer have at this stage, India should have. The past decade be a dominant superpower in cricket.
True.
For some odd reason or whatever we may say, lacking the nerves at the right time, we have in our cupboard only how many World Cup titles?
2 World Cups, 2
We're still
Champions
two.
Trophy.
2011 is
That
the
is
last
it?
one.
Okay. So we should have at least 3 or 4 more.
Yeah.
And we now, I think, another decade beckons. And this is also the stage where India should dominate. And when I say dominate, we should be winning all 3 championship. Test championship, T20 as well as one day cricket.
True. Okay.
So how do you
We
see
should
Gautam Gambhir as a leader?
we should get into a position which West Indies had ages ago. Australia had that streak when they won the Champions Trophy, then won World Cup, again they won the World Cup. So we should get into that position.
So do you think Gautam Gambhir is the perfect man to spearhead that?
यार ऐसा कुछ मतलब वो नहीं है. As I said, we get very carried away with individual names or with individuals.
I mean, Gautam, I guess, would agree on that.
There will always be a phase when this era will get over. Everybody has a shelf life. We have to move on and find the right kind of replacement, which we have done now. So Gautam has come in with his own vision, with his own management style, which is perfectly fine. And then it is up to him and the captain to lead the team forward. And now this phase will also be over. We'll find someone else. But whoever comes in, is expected to do well, because as I said, we are in such a strong position. We have such a huge talent pool coming through. So there is no reason why India should not dominate world cricket.
Yeah.
Leave aside the personal in charge.
Right.
But the entire pool, look at our bench strength.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yashasvi might not play the 27.
That is why for us to qualify for the final, there's nothing great.
Yeah.
To qualify for the knockouts is nothing great.
Yeah.
That is why the fact that we are not qualified for Test Championship final is a huge disappointment for us.
Right.
So final question. I mean, seeing that we have had a ton of fun today.
Yeah.
Is Knuckleball now your favorite podcast?
ये देखने के बाद मैं करूँगा. I have to watch it. I'll go back and watch it, and then I'll give you my impression.
Sure, sir. Leave a comment, sir.
Yeah, I will do that. I will do that. But you need to finish it with Rabindra Sangeet. Do you know that? You are from Calcutta.
I
You're
can't. Sir. This is a cricket podcast, sir. Don't ask me to sing.
Come on. Even
don't
in
ask me to sing.
podcast,
no,
you have to
sir,
bring
no,
in
sir,
some
no.
kind of Rabindra Sangeet.
No,
What is
sir.
this?
Don't come. Don't.
I don't
ask me to
think the
sing,
viewers
sir.
want
Yes,
singing.
sir.
No, where are you from? You're from Chennai.
I'm Chennai.
So you should be singing M.S. Subbalakshmi.
I don't think the audience wants
or
that
Bala
either.
Murli Krishnan.
So everyone will unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Time for the fun and games with Saba Karim. Which current cricketer resembles these past legends? Saba sir, Sunil Gavaskar.
We're starting off strong.
No one.
Close, sir.
नहीं यार सनी भाई के सामने ना कोई भी नहीं है.
Oh.
I mean seriously. कौन हो सकता है?
I mean, we couldn't think of, so we asked the expert.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving some names in terms of temperament, in terms of technique, but not in anything else. It has to be Puji for that matter.
Okay.
Because of his temperament, he could play long innings. He would leave so well, different conditions, good player of spin bowling. I mean, not that I've seen Sunny Bhai bat during the. I mean, when I came in, I think Sunny Bhai retired by then. I just remember one innings, zonal match था. वो हमारे सामने वो खेलने आए थे. He scored about 96, and then when he got out on 96, all of us were so surprised. He was playing for West, I was playing for East. We could not even believe that Sunny Bhai would get out on 96.
Yeah.
Such was his aura then. But in terms of temperament, long innings.
So there's this very there's this story my father used to tell me when I was a child. So Shambaran Banerjee was the captain of Bengal, and he won the Ranji obviously. But there apparently was a match once where Sunny scored 300 against Bengal, and apparently so Sunny scored 50. Shambaran said well played. Sunny scored 100. Sunny said well played. Sunny put to 150. Well played. 200. Well played. 250. Well played. 300. At 300, and Shambaran Banerjee was like, I am done. Please. How many times are you going to make me say this? So it's just phenomenon. Sunil Gavaskar. Okay, the second one, Brian Lara.
Brian Lara, I would put Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not the technique, not the style, but his temperament.
Yeah.
I mean, so aggressive. Even Brian Lara. Brian Lara, I saw him the first time as a 16-year-old.
Right.
89 tour to West Indies. And he played a first-class match against us. He got 160 odd against the Indian side. And that was the first time we had a look at Brian Lara. He was exceptional talent. Yeah, and quite similar what we have seen Yashasvi Jaiswal. His growth is also phenomenal, isn't it?
So Kapil Dev.
कपिल पाजी के बारे में क्या बोलूँगा अभी मुझे हार्दिक थोड़ा बहुत कपिल पाजी की एबिलिटीज जो है ना वो अगर हार्दिक अपने आप को ठीक ठाक रखेगा फिट रहेगा फिटनेस के मामले में उतना नहीं है कपिल was such a fit athlete entire career but in terms of the role which Hardik can play now is quite similar to what Kapil would do those days.
Sir Ricky Ponting.
Ricky is very much like Virat. Virat Kohli.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. His batting style, the way he approaches the game, there is a lot of similarity.
Sir Muthaiya Muralidharan.
Ashwin, who else?
Okay. Yeah.
Were you thinking Varun Chakravarti even maybe nowadays? You know, mystery spin and all that.
पर उसके स्टेज नहीं है ना जो मुरली के हुआ करते थे ऐसे करके.
So Jack Callis.
Jack Callis. At the top of my mind, no one. Because Jack Callis, in my opinion, not only the greatest all-rounder, but maybe the greatest cricketer.
Okay.
One of the greatest cricketer.
Yeah.
And in this age, in this era, I don't think anyone.
If I were to throw in a small name in the hat for you,
Yeah, please.
someone like a Ben Stokes would sort of, could he be like a very natural?
Yeah, but in a different role completely.
Callis is
Ben
Callis.
would
Callis is
come
Callis,
in,
of course, yeah.
Ben Stokes would bat number 6, number 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was not a regular. I mean, he was a 5th bowler.
Yeah.
Jack Callis, number 3 and number 2 or number 3 bowler.
Yeah.
In all formats.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give me one name, you know. हम तुम लोग बताओ कोई नाम है अभी?
नहीं है.
अभी हम स्टोक्स लेके ही चले थे
Yeah.
जब क्वेश्चन बनाया
कौन है
हमने।
यार? कोई नहीं है.
Yeah.
Nobody like that.
कोई है ऐसे इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट में जो नंबर 3 पर आकर बैटिंग करे, जो हर मैच में 3rd पेसर की तरह खेले या 4th पेसर की तरह खेले, या फिर एक दूसरे पेसर की तरह खेले,
Nobody like that.
जो 140 क्लिक्स बॉल डाल रहा हो.
Wow.
True, sir. Sir, Dhoni.
ऋषभ यार अपना.
ऋषभ,
Yeah.
Fair.
Just like him.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like him in attitude, in performance.
Do you think he has that
everything.
leadership in him?
Yeah, he will.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Look out for it, Lucknow Super Giants.
Yeah, not Lucknow, I'm talking about India.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. In my opinion, in test match especially.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's already a test match great for India.
Yeah. 100%.
Last one on the list, Sachin Tendulkar. Is this a resemblance?
Sachin, in terms of run making, I don't know. I want to put Sachin Ravindra there. यार.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, शुभमन गिल तो है ही अपने यहाँ से, पर मैं थोड़ा अलग तरह से सोच रहा हूँ
Sachin.
कि सचिन रविंद्रा अगर उसने अपने आप को जिस तरह से अभी मुझे नजर आ रहा है, his temperament, his profile, the way he conducts himself in front of the camera, he can really go a long way.
Okay. Cricket tic-tac-toe with Saba Karim, sir. Sir, you get first pick.
Okay, so I need to pick something. No?
Yeah. You pick a square.
Okay, let's go with first square.
Delhi Capitals and Kolkata Knight Riders.
Yeah.
Okay. Your answer?
Shreyas Iyer.
Okay, Shreyas Iyer. That's correct. I'm going to go for the center square, which is the IPL hat-trick and a World Cup winner.
Yeah.
And that is our very own Yuvraj Singh.
That is correct.
ये पूरा सेटअप लग रहा है मुझे.
नहीं.
हाँ नहीं है.
नहीं.
Okay.
नहीं sir.
So I will go with Punjab Kings last वाला.
Punjab Kings and?
West Indies.
No, so you have to pick, no,
Okay.
sir. Which
Punjab Kings and West Indies.
Punjab West Indies, okay.
Which one do you want, sir? Who do you want to play?
Chris Gayle.
That is correct, sir. That is correct.
Yeah.
Chris Gayle, it is.
Okay. So I'm.
But why am I going that side? Yaar? I should be.
Mistakes have been made. Okay,
Okay.
Sriram, your go.
A West Indian who has played for the Delhi Capitals. I'm going to go for Shea Hope.
That is correct. Oh. Now then, sir, you have to cover him off. You have to cover him off.
So I have to cut him out, na?
Yeah.
This square.
So that
Yeah.
square.
Yeah. So
That's
for
Punjab and KKR.
Punjab and
who
KKR.
has played for Punjab and KKR. Okay.
No repeat answer.
No repeat answer. So you have said Chris Gayle, so no more Chris Gayle.
You said Shreyas Iyer also, so you can't say that also.
Punjab Kings and who is that here? God.
So someone you mentioned today slipped through the cracks.
Rahane.
No, sir, Rahane.
Unfortunately, is not the right
Oh
answer.
God, yeah.
Okay, Sriram, you have a chance to win this.
And I am going to win it. I'm so sorry, sir. I know the answer to this as well. David Hussey.
David Hussey is correct. David Hussey is correct. Sriram
Played for
wins.
both?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh God, how many players here? So many of them, no?
So Manoj Tiwari.
Manoj Tiwari played for both, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was he part of Punjab Kings?
Yeah, he was part of Punjab Kings for a year or so.
IPL, I'm very bad.
A great win for me with Saba, sir.
Well done, Sriram.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Many congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
I
This
hope
is the
you keep doing
highlight
like
of
this.
my career so far, for sure. Thank you. But thank you so much, sir. It's been an absolute pleasure for us to
Such
have
a
you.
pleasure,
It's
man.
been
Really enjoyed
so much
this.
fun. Genuinely.
Thank
Good
you
fun
so
and
much, sir.
And all the best for your podcast. I hope you get many more guests who can share their ideas.
Thank you, sir.
And keep up the good work, guys.
So that has been the episode with Saba Karim, sir, or Knuckleball. Keep watching us. Keep tuning in. That's a wrap.